Knights, lords, ladies, and all other manner of people. I am the Duke of Deadfall. If you like storytelling and NFTs with a medieval touch, you are in the right region. Where is Deadfall, you may ask? It is a dukedom of the Kingdom of Panamore, a continent of mystery, horror, adventure, and other craziness. Ruled by His Majesty, King Leodoric, who is also my cousin. In light of recent events that happened in our realm and the current market conditions that may cause worry and despair, I would like to offer you the fable of the knight and the shapeshifter. Sir Trent was a knight who lived on the outskirts of the province of Deadfall. He was a knight with a lot of combat experience and a successful cattle farm. Unfortunately, tragedy struck the farm. Some dark creature started harassing the flock, sadistically killing his cows and only drinking the blood, not even bothering to eat the meat. At one point it became so bad that all the knight's cattle had been slaughtered by this beast. The farm was close to a dread forest, and as many of you know, dread forests keep growing, expanding as it's usurping the farmland around it with impunity, like a cancer. The dread forests in Panamore are dark places of unspeakable horror. No sane person would build a farm next to it, but if the forest is not tamed, it keeps growing, the dark thorny trees expanding their reach. So it had come to pass that the dread forest close to Sir Trent had grown to a point where it touched his land, and this is where the mystery creature had come from. The creature was extremely cunning, but also extremely greedy. It would always come in the dead of night, when there was nobody awake to protect the cattle. Again and again the flock were killed. Sir Trent tried to wait for the beast and dispatch it by his own sword, but somehow, as by some dark magic, the beast always came in the pitch dark night when no one was watching, and his warriors on staff kept being eluded by the beast. Sir Trent then tried to set traps for the beasts, all to no avail. Not a single trap had been sprung. The knight fell into a deep and dark despair, for his farm was no longer profitable. It seemed that he could even lose the farm, for he could no longer pay taxes to the king. He told his wife, as he held her close in his arms, "Woman, we may have to depart from here soon and find other means of income, for this beast has wrought a great curse upon us that I cannot seem to break." His wife, a beautiful young woman, replied, "Husband, it seems that we are up against dark magic. Go see the sorcerer that resides in the mountains. You are trying to fight this monster with brute force, but perhaps the only way is to use the magic of our own." So Trent listened to his wife's words, although he was suspicious of sorcerers, for he was desperate and he trusted his wife. He departed to the mountains to visit the sorcerer, making sure to take some gifts with him. He didn't know what to expect at all, but he set off at daybreak with a couple of servants. After many days of travel, Sir Trent had arrived at the sorcerer's abode. He was tired because they had to travel on foot. The mountain path was too dangerous for a horse. The sorcerer's stone house was much larger than the knight had expected, almost a small castle, but with no walls for defense. It was built into the mountain. He was invited inside alone. The large stone manor was full of mysterious and frightening artifacts. Skulls of unknown animals, hundreds of glass bottles with a liquid dark as blood, strange statues of unknown dark gods, All of this frightened him, but he had to see this through. He was desperate for advice on how to kill the beast and save his farm. The sorcerer was a fat man, dressed in many animal skins, seated on a huge wooden chair, almost like a throne. "What brings you here, Sir Knight?" the sorcerer asked in a raspy voice that was somehow pitched too high for his large body. "It is rare that I am graced by a Knight of the Realm's presence." Sir Trent explained the dilemma he was experiencing with the beast killing his cattle, and that he came here on the advice of his woman. "Your wife is a wise woman, Sir Knight. What you are dealing with is indeed dark magic. It is a shapeshifter. It has the strength and speed of an animal, but the cunning of a man, because it is a man." Sir Trent felt the hair on his skin stand up. The fat sorcerer went on. "A type of dark wizard that can change his human form. Shapeshifting is a dark and corrupt magic that needs many blood sacrifices to be able to achieve. You are lucky that it only killed your cattle. It might soon start to hunger for human blood. This beast cannot be conquered by your sword. You will need a different weapon. The bow of consistency and poison." The sorcerer fell silent for a moment, clearing his throat and spitting on the ground. "I'm going to help you, because a shapeshifter like this so close to my influence can become a threat to me too. Wait here." The fat sorcerer got up with surprising ease and nimbleness. He disappeared into the back of the large dark room through another door. He came back a few moments later with something clutched in his pudgy hands. "This is the bow of consistency and poison." He revealed a small bow and quiver, less than half the size of a normal bow. "You can only shoot these arrows from this bow. The points of the arrowheads are made from the teeth of the willow snake and dipped in a poison of colloidal silver. I need not tell you that if it breaks the skin of a normal human, you will die a most horrible death within the hour. To kill the beast, you will have to hit it more than once. Once these enchanted arrows hit the shapeshifter, they cannot be removed from its skin. It will stay there until the shapeshifter dies. You will need to hit it with 3 arrows, each on a different night." The sorcerer counted out 3 little black arrows from the quiver, which held probably another 20. He wrapped the magic bow and the arrows in layers of thick leather. "You'll only need 3 arrows." Sir Trent thanked the sorcerer, but there was still a problem. "I thank you for this weapon, sorcerer. Yet how can we shoot the beast if we never laid eyes on it? The beast is extremely cunning. It never shows itself." The sorcerer replied, Yes. The way you get the beast out in the open is by using bait that cannot be resisted. Remember that you need to hit it with 3 of the arrows on separate nights. Set an ambush for the beast. Make a ring of torches in a clearing with a post in the middle. Tie a young calf, the best you can find, to the post as bait and make a small cut in its forehead. It's very rich in small arteries and it will bleed a lot. Let the blood run. You will need more blood. Fill the circle of torches floor with at least 12 buckets of ox blood. Only you and the bait must be present. No other soul. Hide yourself well. That is the first bait. It will draw the beast out in the open, for its greed and bloodlust will overtake its cunning. It will not be able to resist the amount of blood and will come even if it knows of your presence. You will easily be able to hit it with the bow of consistency and poison. Let your arrow fly true. For the second, you cannot use a calf again. The beast will be in a lot of pain because of the poison arrow stuck within its flesh. It will take bait of more value to draw out the bloodlust within the monster. You will be the second bait. Wear no armor. Take only the bow and arrows and make a small cut in your forehead so the blood flows down your face and body. The smell of a knight's blood will drive the beast mad with greed, and it will be easy to shoot it with the second arrow. For the third bait, you cannot use yourself again. The beast will be in even more pain because of the second arrow and will sense bait of less value. You will have to use your wife as the third and last bait. Sir Trent burst out in seething anger. You not only want me to place myself at the mercy of this beast on your whim, but also my wife. Do you think I am a simpleton? I need not remind you that you are speaking to a night magic man. Sir Knight, the sorcerer answered, you came here for my help and counsel. It is yours to take or leave as you please. I didn't request any payment of you. See how the magic works after the first bait, and then decide if you would go through with it. If the calf survived after the first ambush, he would easily risk the second bait. Sir Trent had smiled at death many times before, but risking the life of his wife was stepping over a line he wouldn't cross. There would have to be another way. Some alternative ambush, instead of using his wife as the third bait. Sir Trent and his men got back to the farm after days of travel. Although weary, he immediately started the preparation for the first ambush. He showed his wife the bow of consistency and poison. He didn't tell her about the third bait. When the preparations for the first ambush was done, it was a full moon, which the circle of torches mimicked. It was in a large clearing not far from the dark branching clutches of the Dread Forest. His servants had found the best calf they could lay their hands on. The calf was tied to the post in the middle of the torches. Blood was dripping across its snout from the small cut on his forehead. The animal didn't seem to be in any pain. Sir Trent was hiding outside the circle of torches, completely camouflaged under a grey hood. He looked like a dark rock laying against a tree. He had a clear vision of the ambush ground. His strong hands clutched around the little magic bow, one of the poison arrows ready and nocked. A moonbird made a haunting, dreamlike call, and there was a snap of a twig. Sir Trent could make out a dark shape that had appeared on the edge of the torch circle. It moved so slowly that untrained eyes would not be able to detect the movement. A being, a beast, no, a monster so eerie and strange to the eyes that it could possibly drive a man mad by just seeing it, entered the circle. It had features of a bull, a man, and a bear. But to describe it would be blasphemy. A grave sin even to think that something like this could exist. The calf bound to the post bellowed in fear. Sir Trent loosed the arrow. It flew in a perfect arc, as if guided by a hidden hand. It was certain that it had hit the mark by the reaction of the monster. It started writhing on the ground to get the magic arrow out of its body and leaped away into the moonlight. In an instant, it was out of sight. Much less speak of to others, but despite his fears, there were still 2 arrows left, and the farm had to be saved. When night had fallen again, Sir Trent was now bound to the pole. He had the little bow and arrow. The bait would take the shot himself. "Fetch my dagger from the hide," he told his squire. He cut his own forehead, and blood began gushing over him. He wore no armor, and was ready to finish this. He was hoping the sorcerer was wrong. Maybe the beast was already dead from 1 arrow. But he was ready. He waited for hours. Initial terror changing to fear, and then boredom, before the horrible creature sneaked into the circle again. He took the shot, and again it flew in a perfect true arc. The beast howled, a sound that could be heard for 3 miles in every direction, leaving a path of destruction behind it as it charged back into the dread forest. Sir Trent had firmly decided that he would use himself again as the bait. He would not use his lovely wife. They set up the whole ritual again. For several following nights, the monster never showed. It was dead. Thank the gods and the sorcerer. A rotting carcass of monstrosity somewhere in the woods, he told his wife. "And thanks to your bravery, my lord," his wife replied. Everything seemed to go back to normal, but there was still a dark presence to be felt close to the farm. 2 of the night servants had vanished without a trace during the night. No sign of a forced entry to the servants' quarters. Sir Trent knew these servants well, and they wouldn't just abandon the farm. The beast was back, and the knight shuddered, thinking where it could have taken the servants. When the 7th servant had been taken, along with 2 children, Sir Trent knew he had to follow through with the sorcerer's instructions. He spoke earnestly to his wife. "My love, I had not followed through with the sorcerer's instructions. The missing servants and the little ones are of my own neglect and shame." With a heavy heart, he told her of the last bait, and that she had to be in the circle of the ambush to finish the shapeshifter off. His wife, although terrified, immediately agreed. "We will finish this magic ritual this very night," she said. In the middle of the circle of torches stood his wife against the pole, like a lamb for sacrifice. Sir Trent made the cut on her forehead as gently as he could. Dark red blood flowed over her beautiful, innocent face. Immediately a horrifying howl could be heard from the dread forest. Sir Trent had his 5 best warriors hidden with him, their own bows and arrows ready. There could be no mistakes. The dark shape was approaching the circle. The torches started to flicker. "I have been waiting for this moment, Sir Knight," said a strangely familiar, high-pitched voice from the dark shadow. Into the clearing came the fat sorcerer, riding on the back of the shape-shifting beast. "The last bait is also a sacrifice." The woman screamed. "A wife for a farm," the dark sorcerer said with a cackle. Before Sir Trent could reply, the torches all went out, the sound of arrows flying and the screams of a woman filled the pitch-dark night. Sir Trent had spent the next years of his life searching for his wife, The beast never returned. He took hundreds of men at arms to search for the Sorcerer's Stone house in the mountains. They found the exact location where the Sorcerer's Stone house had stood. Only ruins remained. In the ruins they found nothing but a hideous skeleton of some kind of monster. It had attributes of a bull and of a bear, and in the pile of bones were 3 little black arrows. If you enjoyed this story, please share it with a friend. If you spotted the secret in today's video, comment the timestamp and from which NFT collection that NFT is to win a custom Knight NFT and be knighted as a Knight of Deadfall. So somewhere in this video there's an NFT, a secret NFT. You have to find it. All Knights of Deadfall will have whitelisted access to our future secret project that is yet to be announced. This is an NFT that cannot be bought. You can only win it by spotting the secrets in Duke of Deadfall videos. Make sure you follow me on Twitter for more secrets and surprises. Done.